In today's garden project, we want to spend just a little bit of time here cleaning up some of our perennials. We're further into the season now. Things don't look as fresh as they did first thing in spring. Now we're dealing with yellow leaves, some seed pods, spent blossoms, overgrown plants. And just by spending a few moments each day out in the garden with our pruners, we can make things look a whole lot better. And we're going to just give a few examples of that today. The first example today would be the daylily. So the removal here, called deadheading, is very simple. A simple snap down near the base and they come off cleanly. And what's left then would be our fresh flowers and a much better look. To carry this a little further, we have the scape here. Now the last flower was removed. The scape no longer has a purpose. Okay, what we want to do then is just remove that scape down a ways, put that into the compost. You can do that same thing on a smaller scale, removing some of these side branches as they're done. This is all optional. It doesn't benefit the plant a whole lot as far as growth goes. However, removing the spent blossoms ensures that no seed pods will form, and seed pods are taking unusual or unnecessary energy out of the plant. We'd rather see that go into growing a stronger plant or producing more flowers. So there are some benefits to deadheading aside from just the cosmetic part of it. Another step we can take here to clean up the daylily a little bit is to remove some of this older bad foliage at the base. Only takes maybe a minute per plant. It makes such a difference, and you may only have to do that once or twice a season. And usually you can just pull that out. You don't even need to come in with the scissors and be real careful. We just remove some of those older leaves. Certainly not going to hurt the plant, and a yellow leaf will never turn green again anyhow. So it's just best to go ahead and remove whatever you can. So just a little time spent there, and it makes such a difference. Okay, we have quite a few other perennials in the garden that can benefit from a little bit of trimming. This particular one is a Veronica called Royal Candles, and although we still have a little bit of bloom up here at the top, most of our bloom is done and the plant starts looking a little ratty. Just by spending a few moments coming in there and doing some clipping, we can actually encourage some secondary bloom. And we just start snipping out some of that. And what we're going to do is expose some brand new, some nice looking foliage, and some dormant buds down here will become active. Okay, now over here we have an example of the same cultivar. This is Veronica Royal Candles also. However, this one was trimmed back about a week ago, and you can see the difference that has made. We have a nice fresh foliage to look at, and we have a lot of new blossoms here that are beginning to form. They're not going to become as extensive as the original one was, but we're going to have some nice rebloom here for the next couple of weeks, and certainly worth our effort to clean that up. That from this point on, we're going to be looking at a plant much fresher for the rest of the season. All right, now we have another example. We're looking at a delphinium, 6-7 feet tall. It was beautiful, but its blossoms are spent. A lot of the lower foliage is bad. It's really a kind of an eyesore leaving that in the garden. So all we need to do, cutting way down as far as we can, almost at ground level here. This doesn't take long, and you don't need to be real careful about this. If you look closely down at the base here now, we see a lot of new growth. There's a lot of potential here. Delphiniums normally have their primary bloom in June, and here we are in early August. We did cut this plant back to the ground, as we just saw an example of there, about 2 weeks ago. This is all brand new, fresh growth. It actually looks like the plant might look in May. So it's very clean, and if you look at the tips here, we have all kinds of new flower buds forming, and here's actually a flower that's even a little earlier. And this will continue to bloom now for the next few weeks, and I think well worth the effort to have cut down that old delphinium. It's just a good example of renewal pruning. Okay, looking at one of our 21 display gardens here at Rose Hill Gardens. And although it's mid-August now, the garden still is looking fresh, and basically because we were willing to come out here and do a little maintenance, a little bit of cutting back and trimming, a little deadheading. So your garden can look fresh the entire season. We have 21 different display gardens here at Rose Hill, and you're welcome to come and tour these gardens anytime. We're open May through September. You browse through the gardens, get some ideas, see the various perennials in their mature form. And many of these same perennials then are available in our retail greenhouses for purchase.